Jacob, and I'm the owner of Fiberglass Freaks, and guess what I do for a living? I build 1966 Batmobile replicas. So behind me is a poster signed by several of the cast members from the Batman TV show, the classic show from the 1960s. Adam West, Burt Ward, Julie Newmar, Yvonne Craig, Lee Merriweather, who played the Catwoman in the Batman movie. And it was great to work with Adam West and Burt Ward at some of the different Comic Cons. And they were everything you would hope that they would be. They were sharp, they were funny, and they were just incredible people. So everything you would want them to be, they were. That one's signed by Jeff Dunham, the ventriloquist that does Ahmed the Dead Terrorist and Peanut. And we worked on a replica of the Futura for him, doing the body work and making accurate pieces for the interior and exterior of the car. This is part of my collection here inside of the Batmobile factory, and what you see in here is going to be put on display in a museum in downtown Logansport, hopefully opening in July of 2021 is our goal. But you know, best Christmas ever was 1974 with the Mego action figures and the Mego Batcave that you see up here. But quite a few items are actually fairly recent. Most of this stuff is from 2014 or newer. So it's really exciting to see the resiliency of the 1966 Batman television show. Even after all of these years, here it is with brand new action figures and brand new toys and brand new merchandising coming out. We just picked up some new merchandising just yesterday at Meijer in Kokomo. So how much better does it get than that? If you're a 66 Batman fan, or if you're a fan of the 1955 Lincoln Futura, it doesn't get any better than that. I'm a fan of Batman since I saw my very first episode when I was 2 years old, way back in 1967. And Robin was about to be stamped into a comic book by a giant printing press. So I thought that everything about the show was great, the music, the action, the color, but especially the Batmobile. And I said, someday I want to drive that car. Well, I was 11 years old when my dad took me to Chicago to the Antique Auto Museum, saw my very first full-scale Batmobile. And this was one of the original 4 George Barris built cars. There was the original Futura Batmobile that was metal. He popped a mold and made 3 fiberglass copies. This was on the drag strips all across the country doing exhibition runs. This cemented the dream that not only was I going to own a Batmobile someday, I was going to build it. So when I was 17 years old, we tore apart 5 crazy 17-year-olds. We had no automotive experience. We had no automotive tools. We didn't even own an air compressor, if that tells you how naive we were about the process. But we tore apart a 74 Monte Carlo, which has a little bit too short a wheelbase, but it was just right for what we needed. So using plywood and styrofoam, sheet metal, and fiberglass, we created our very own 1966 Batmobile replica. We were so naive to know that we couldn't do it that we did. And then the story comes full circle. I received a phone call after we started building the cars professionally. I received a phone call. Hi, this is Doug Jackson. I said, wait a second, the Doug Jackson, the owner of the number 4 Batmobile? You know your stuff, sir. I said, well, thank you very much. What can I do for you? He said he'd driven over rough railroad tracks in Las Vegas, and the rear windshields of the car had snapped off, landed points down, and shattered. Could I help him? So the answer was yes. So guess what I ended up doing? I didn't just replace the rear windshields of this number 4 George Barris built dragster Batmobile. I was able to restore it. So imagine my surprise that I am driving in downtown Logansport in the car that cemented the dream that I was going to build my first Batmobile when I was 11 years old. I restored it and was driving around town.